All right. Monday morning, kind of starting a new little ritual. And a different vibe here. You know, Shot House had the whole computer thing going on there, and it was pretty cool. But I also felt like I was kind of, I don't know, restricted when it came to just being natural and talking off my mind. I don't know. Sometimes you get into a controlled environment and you just lock up. We've all been there. So the new thing I'm doing is on Monday mornings for sure with my coffee. I'm complimenting it with a cigar. If you're paying full price for coffee mugs, you're crazy. Those Goodwills got some of the best coffee mugs. This one I picked up a couple weeks back. It's a mossy oak. Has a big old elk on it. Reminds me of Colorado. But back on the cigar. And I think that we should be doing this, like rewarding ourselves to really set our day up to be relaxed, to be comfortable, but to also understand that you can incorporate what you want to do into your workload, your work schedule. And you don't have to be sitting down at a cigar lounge, or if you want to hit some golf balls, you don't got to go to a golf course. Sometimes you can just find an open pasture and let them rip. Well, today I'm smoking the Romeo Juliet 1875. That will zoom in there. And I've never smoked a cigar, and what I've heard so far about it is that it does complement great with coffee. It's gonna be on more of the lighter, medium, mild. Gave you 3 different categories there. It's gonna be more on the mild to medium, is what the guy at the store told me. Really excited about taking time and slowing down to smoke this. I don't know about you, but me, find myself moving real fast. And I've kind of always had that problem. And kind of slow down a little bit, especially on Monday mornings. If I can get this thing cut. I need a new cutter. There we go. Especially on Monday mornings. Slowing down on Monday mornings. Allowing myself to just get out the door smoothly. That whole concept of slow and smooth and fast, it is huge in this industry. An old man taught me years back, you want to toast the end of this cigar first and get kind of an even burn. You know, a lot of guys use matches or open flame lighters. I kind of like these torches. I feel like I can get a real accurate burn, especially being outdoors all day, every day. If I want to have a cigar in the barn, you know. See that cherry, when I blow on it, I can see that it's burnt evenly. You know, I've been smoking some good cigars over the last couple of days, and so I found out that I really kind of like those sweet tips. And that's something I wanted to get away from. And I was out here smoking these acid cigars ever since my military days, and I never really got away from them unless like somebody got me a cigar for a gift or something. But this is nice. Romeo and Juliet Cigarros, 1875. You know, nothing too fancy. I feel like I'm looking for a daily smoker, something that's affordable, something that can be a daily smoker. And some of these cigars I was smoking yesterday and over the weekend, they're $20, $30 a stick. I can't, guys, I shoe horses for a living. There's no way I'm going to go out there and drop a couple trims on cigars. Yeah, I like it. I think I'm definitely like a light, mild, possibly maybe a medium blend with some type of lighter wrap. And I learned that all the filler tobacco, I wouldn't say all, but it's all really much the same type of tobacco. What really separates these cigars is going to be the wrapper leaf that gives it taste and kind of just distinguishes who the company is outside of the band, of course. But that's enough about cigars. I just wanted to light that up, take a sip of coffee, and let this Monday just kind of come. A lot of guys that I've worked beside or worked for or been in the schoolhouse with, or instructors or senior guys, they all got the same advice when it comes to having some sort of routine or protocol step process that you do when it comes to trimming, shoeing, any aspect of horsemanship. In the farrier world, we have a step process that really kind of allows us to not skip stuff, but to also make the best of the time that we're there. I have found out personally, while developing my routine, when it comes to just a trim, let's say, if the second I have a protocol, a step process, I can find myself moving a lot smoother through that process of a trim, rather than really focused on hustling and busting my ass and go, 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 go. You start skipping steps, or you have to go back and redo something, and we all know that the turtle wins that race every time. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's what today is all about, and that's how you need to get your Mondays started, and really taking advantage of doing your administration before Monday comes. Looking at that schedule, calculating your route, maybe double tapping on invoices that you missed last week. Yeah, I like it. All that prep work in advance, I can tell you firsthand that it makes those Mondays not come faster, because those Mondays they get here quick, but it allows you to get hit with that quick Monday, knowing that your batteries are charged for your grinder. Whatever it is that you know as your own operation, where the kinks in your armor are, and majority of the time is coming from procrastination and not doing something when you get home or over the weekend to prep yourself for a better Monday. That's good. Yeah, so I think that's what leads into having a good aura about yourself, a good vibe when you step into that barn and you shake the client's hand to touching that horse for the first time. How you get your week started is really how your week is gonna go, in my opinion. And I came off vacation about a week and a half ago, and we got back on a Friday night or Saturday, and we had one day to kind of prep before that Monday was hitting, and I had 4 full sets, and it was 45 minutes away, and they're mules. And I've only done these guys one other time, and they weren't bad, but it's hot out here in Oklahoma, and I just wasn't mentally prepared to step into that environment. So I really had to put my mental state on the back burner and physically get through that. And we got through that, but it was hard. And then next thing you know, Tuesday's right on the back end. And we got another 3 sets and a couple half sets and a handful of trims. And more than just one client. Now I'm driving and I'm hooking and jabbing all throughout southern Oklahoma. And I was tired. And not really physically tired, emotionally and mentally tired because I wasn't prepped. I didn't take time to get home and sit down, look at my schedule, touch my tools, get laundry done, make a couple phone calls, and kind of get mentally in that zone to go shoe horses. And that's huge. If you're not mentally there, then you're not there. And somebody's going to bite the bullet on that. Somebody's going to get the short end of the stick on that. Not bad. I really haven't developed too crazy of a palate yet. But I can tell when I like something and I don't like something. And as of right now, I'm probably looking at something like this, more of like a daily smoker. And like what I smoked yesterday is called a Dominicana by Deadwood Tobacco. Something like that I could smoke every day, but I just, can't really afford a $25 cigar every day. And I don't even think it was really that much, but, something like this is, I think, $8-9 a cigar. You might find it a little bit more in certain places, a lot more affordable. But man, I can really tell the difference between the Romeo and Julieta and the Dominicana. And I like the Dominicana a lot more. And the wrapper's really cool. They got a really pretty girl that's kind of like that, I don't know, some Hispanic culture. Forgot what it's called. Seems like it wants to go out on me. And I don't know if that's a quality thing or not, but no big deal. We got the torch right here. And what I've been learning throughout the years is you just torch it right back up, treat it the same. See, this thing's ashing on me. I think that's, you blow it out. I think they call it purging. I'm already getting ashed on. And I can tell by the other cigars that I smoked the other day, that ash, it went 2 inches down and then just kicked right off into my ashtray. There's a quality thing there. While we're on the topic of quality, let's talk quality. Becoming mentally prepped for Monday. On a personal note, I can really see the more prepped I am mentally, the more prepped I am emotionally, and motivated and focused and disciplined on the things that I know that I don't like paperwork. I hate paperwork. If I have that stuff squared away before that Monday, Tuesday comes, before I get up underneath that horse and pick that foot up, if all that stuff is taken care of and I feel real confident about my brand and my business, I can really see the increase in my work on a quality level. Higher nails, straighter nails, a better perimeter fit. I'm not running out of batteries on my grinder, so I'm boxing better. Just taking time to get organized out of like when I pull up to a barn and getting my tools out and taking that time to get set up. All these things, these components compile together to really add so much motivation and so much positivity and effort and help when it comes to you initially picking that foot up. For me, I don't know, maybe you guys are going out there with a pocket knife and just knocking it out, but on my end, getting prepped for that Monday is huge. It really sets my week up. Better not forget to smoke this thing. It really sets my week up nice. Oh. Well, we're getting into the later part of the season here in Oklahoma. It seems like it's cooling down just a little bit. That's huge. I I think that really helps out a lot when it comes to, getting a full day put in. This summer I was really getting to a barn around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning and working till about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because I felt like when 2:30, 3 o'clock hit, it was I just couldn't bear it no more. It was so hot, and I didn't have enough shirts. I was going through probably about 4 to 5 shirts a day there for about 3 months straight, 4 months straight. It was hot. So super excited about October coming here to Oklahoma, because we need it. And my pond is going to clear up of all that vegetation, just weeds for days. I mean, I cast out even like a weedless litter out there, and I'm still just pulling in pounds of weeds, and that's just a summer thing. I don't know, somebody out there might know the science behind it. It irritates me. A guy told me I should rake my pond. It's a pretty good idea. I might do that next year. But as of now, it's clearing up. I'm excited to get out there and catch some bass with the stogie. And I don't know if they make a cigar that, can complement bass fishing. I bet you any cigar is good on the water, but I bet you there's a cigar out there that is made for fishing. And this one definitely not made for fishing. I can already tell the wrapper is starting to crack right here on this end of the cigar. And my cutter didn't really cut it as smooth as the other ones. I don't know if that's a cigar cutting quality, problem, but this is just a normal cigar cutter that is that guillotine style, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna blame it on the cigar, and it still is not burning right. That's fine. We just take our torch lighter and light it up. These are things that I'm adding to my life for quality and a point. I want to be able to slow down, sit here, enjoy coffee, enjoy a cigar for however long it takes me to smoke it. Without getting upset, without getting frustrated or anxiety and get up and go this way and get up and go that way just because I feel like I should get up and go somewhere. It's okay to just be. That's something that I'm also putting towards my business when it comes to shoeing these horses, is taking my time to really slow down, find my process, trust my process, and be present. Being present is huge. Yeah. Being in that barn with that horse in that moment, on that foot, is huge. If your personal life is not squared away, and I'm not talking about 90-degree angles here, I'm just talking about it looks like a square. Some people's personal lives are just all jacked up where you can't even, don't even know where to start. But if you can get your life on a personal level halfway squared away, when you step into that barn, it shows. It really does. It really does. It shows with the communication with the client. It shows and is demonstrated with your horsemanship, your crafting of your shoes, the molding of your trim. All these things come together to make that experience for the client and the horse and yourself so much smoother. You don't forget to reschedule. Majority of time, maybe you'll get like a nice tip or a compliment. Man, I got a really cool, good wrench, 1930s. I mean, the thing is like 4 foot by 2.5 feet. An old sign that's probably worth $400 to $600. I don't know, maybe more. That was a gift to me. Those type of things will start happening to not only establish rapport with your clients, but for you to actually enjoy what you're doing. Every day should be different. Every client should be different. Every horse is different. Every foot is different. So if you're not present in those moments and you're just checking boxes and going through your day, you're not going to have longevity. No, no, you're not. You're not going to be here a year from now. Shit, you might not be here next week. I can tell you that, man. I really can. I think, you know what I saw on Facebook the other day? And it hit home because it's so true. And it's like this in any industry, you know. You have that honeymoon phase. You know, you get a new rasp, a new nipper, a new hammer. You're excited for a short amount of time and you plateau right back out to where you was. It doesn't fix the problem that is really deep inside of you. And it's probably anxiousness, having some sort of anxiety about whatever. That shit shows in the barn. It shows on the phones. It shows when it comes to communicating with your clients and finding that common ground in a smooth conversation as you're sitting there working. It does it. It shows in your horsemanship. This last week, and I'm being 100% real here. This last week, I worked on horses that I've worked on for a while now, and I've never had problems with. And if it was a problem, it was very minor. The mules on Monday weren't too bad. They weren't too bad. They were actually better than they were the first time, but that's mules, right? But when it came to dealing with Tuesday all the way to yesterday, I mean, I worked Saturday and Sunday just to get caught up from vacation. I felt like horses that I've been trimming and shoeing for a long time now, I've been out here in Oklahoma for 2 years, so some of these clients I've had for close to a year and a half, 2 years in this area. I've never had a problem with their horses, and all of a sudden I show up coming off vacation, and they're irritated with me. I'm doing something that is causing these horses to not be comfortable with my presence. I stepped away, I took breaths. I probably should have smoked a cigar, I don't know. Took a shot. I don't know what was going on, but it was something. And the only thing I can do is turn to myself internally and not blame myself, but look at, hey, is it me? Am I doing something? It could be maybe I'm moving too fast. Am I banging and making a lot of noise with my tools? Dude, this week I was just missing nails like crazy. I'm sitting here swinging, the horse is standing fine, the foot's not moving, and I'm hitting nothing but the bottom of the shoe, man. And I was getting a little frustrated. Took a deep breath, got through it. But all the way from Monday to yesterday, I mean, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I don't know. And it got me frustrated, got me irritable. And that's something you got to reel in and dial that back real quick. That you got to dial that back real quick. And it's hard to do. It is hard to do. I will admit it's hard to do, but it has to be done. And I think as you get a little older, maybe, or you've been there enough and stubbed your toe or got hit in the dick enough to know that type of mentality and direction of getting frustrated, it is never going to have a good result. It's never going to give you, really what you're looking for. So having that mental mindset, you'll hit the nail on the head more often than not. The second you got any type of anxiousness or anger or something going on, it's going to show in your hammer swing for sure. For sure. It showed in mine. I could tell that 2.5 week vacation was a little bit too long. It was kind of hard for me to get back onto the groove of things. As easy as driving a nail. I had to slow down when it came to making those nipper runs. I had to slow down when it comes to opening up those heels just a little bit. Slow down when it came the top dressing, really kind of get back to the basics before we just start kind of getting out there and going 100 miles an hour. The basics are huge. I have a mentor named Conrado Stefani, and probably about maybe 2 months back, him and I both wind up at this same barn right down the road and across the highway here. And we catching up, BSing, kind of going through some things. And I've shot a horse in that barn, and probably, I don't know, 6 weeks before this conversation. So he probably was coming in there and looked at that horse. He was due up and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and pop these shoes off." And he starts realizing that, hey, I think this is JT's work, And so, being my mentor, he set me down afterwards and brought it up to me about, really reminding myself about the basics and stop hooking those heels so much and don't fit so tight, and really have it come off that toe cord and around that widest part to that heel cord and just kind of flow out the back. I needed that. I needed that refresher of the basics of hitting center stock and having that perimeter fit with expansion, coming back around the heels there. I needed that. And so now that was a couple months ago, he's still right on my shoulder sitting there when I'm shaping that shoe and getting it fit and checking it. I got Conrado right here going, JD, right? He's a Brazilian guy. He goes, JD, and it's JT. He says JD, right? So, hey, JD, you fit too tight on heel right here, and you have no expansion. I'd rather you not do that. They call it contraction of heels, and he's right. Those are the basics. But because I wasn't mentally there that day, or not paying attention, or trying to hurry up and get somewhere else in life, I wasn't present. I missed that. And those moments are powerful. I bet you it went out again. Yeah. Those moments are powerful. We'll just set this down. And embrace those. Be thankful that you have somebody in your life, to mentor you. So, big shout out to Conrado. That's about it. It's Monday. Go kick ass. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe to Shot House. I'll see you on the next one. Look at that.